If you guys like getting dirty, junk PC parts and then cleaning them up and then putting something together that just absolutely screams price performance, then today's red and black themed gaming PC is going to be an absolute treat, where all the parts in today's build is coming just a little bit over $200 US. Now, it would have come under 200 if we didn't come into a faulty power supply, which happened just as I'm testing out the system here, getting it ready to build the PC. This is something I do before I put together a gaming PC, but we've got here three main stars of the show. And the first one is the Vega 56 8GB. Now this card I feel is one of the most underrated AMD cards, mainly because you've got 8GB of VRAM, it undervolts extremely well, and also it can be had for under $100 US pretty much all day, every day. And it's actually been a reliable card. I haven't personally come into a faulty one as of this date, as opposed to other AMD graphics cards. I have come into quite a few faulty versions, most recently an RX 5700 on my used PC parts hunt. But then above that, we've also got a really special CPU, and that's the Ryzen 7 1700. This is 8 cores, 16 threads, but it's also really inexpensive. And the best thing is, like we've got right here, sometimes you can come into the Wraithspire RGB included box cooler. Now this is, in my opinion, one of, if not the best included box cooler in terms of aesthetics I have seen to date. And then coupled in lastly with this right here, and this is a Cooler Master ATI Stream Storm Edition case. Though the thing is, it didn't always look this good. In fact, I spent quite a bit of my time this morning cleaning this case up because it was just full, and I mean full, of just so much dust, dirt, and grime. Initially, I opened it up. I thought, okay, it's gonna be a little bit of dust. Then as I'm cleaning it, I'm like realizing, okay, there's quite a bit of dust. Then after that, I realized, okay, I've got to get my dust masks here because this PC case is absolutely filthy. And then we went through this case, cleaned it up, and then applied some of my favorite after spray, and that is CRC 556. And what this does is it'll get into all those really hard to reach places, clean all the dirt and grime out of those places, but the final product will just make it look like it's coming up to look like it's brand new. And we can see this especially with these red accents on the case, where before, when we didn't clean it, it was looking like it was something that had been sitting in a wet garage and starting to rust out. But after applying this spray, I think it's something that we can get looking even better than when it was brand new. Though this spray right here, the reason I use it in Japan is it's the cheapest solution here, but also it's a little bit thicker than the stuff I use in Australia. And so it does have a stronger odor, and it is a bit harder to clean off the excess residue. In this case, you want to use a rag or something like that if you're going to go down this route. As opposed to the stuff I use in Australia, that's really easy to put on, put off, and it's ultimately a little bit less time consuming. But I feel like this stuff right here gives you actually some of the best finishing results in terms of cleanliness and look. Though now it is finally time to put this thing together. And you guys may be thinking, yes man, where is the retro remix music? Don't worry boys, I've got you covered with a Star Fox remix. So our ATI Stream PC is now all ready to play games, and it's all tuned up with the GPU undervolt in place. The system memory has gone up a little bit. I mean, it was difficult because we had 2 basic sticks of memory, so we could only lock in 2400 megahertz, but we also got the CPU at 3.7 gigahertz all-core with that included box cooler. However, there is one little problem right here, and that is Windows is not activated with this B350 motherboard. Now, this is an easy fix with today's video sponsor, VIP SCD Keys. I'll put the link in the description below. You hit that link and you use the coupon code TYC. This is a off coupon code that I sometimes use in special videos like today, and you can get an even bigger discount than the BFTYC by another 5%. So that means you can get Windows 10 Pro for as little as $14 and I think 70 cents or something like that in today's video. And also if you want to get a Windows 11 Pro key license, then you can get that too. And then with the website, it's so easy to use. You can use PayPal, you can use PayPal credit card or credit card itself, and you just get your key, buy it off the store. It's instantly delivered. Grab that key, copy, paste it, and then click on this change product key right here. And then we just control paste it from the website. Click on next, and then Windows, and then click activate again. And then Windows should be all activated and ready to go. Though now it's time to finally test out our gaming performance, and the good thing is we recently did a video on Intel Arc A750, A770, as well as RX 6600, 7600, RTX 3060, 4060, and so we've got a great baseline here for how this Vega 56 is going to perform against those newer GPUs at 1080p and 1440p. Even though it's coupled in with a Ryzen 7 1700, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. We will watch that GPU usage ultimately to determine how this GPU is performing. If it's obviously not performing near 100%, then it's being bottlenecked by the CPU. But if it's doing okay, then we should get a rough figure of how the Vega 56 performs versus the newer variants. So let's get these benchmarks underway. Man, I absolutely love doing this shit right here. This gets me excited, building up a used banger like this, and then benchmarking the performance and seeing that out of 2 of the 5 titles, that was RoboCop and Returnal, the performance was actually really good in relative terms versus the latest and greatest GPUs that cost $200 to $300. And keep in mind, our system here, the whole thing costs around $200. That's for the whole PC. So the Vega 56 in 2024 is still no joke for those people who want to play at 1080p with a relatively good experience, even on some of the latest greatest titles. But a game like Starfield did pretty well. Then Alan Wake 2 and also Baldur's Gate 3, they did suffer in relative performance versus those newer titles, but it was still at least a playable experience in the case of Baldur's Gate 3, especially if we just want to turn the settings down to low. And keep in mind, when I do benchmark Baldur's Gate 3, I'm testing out the most strenuous spot of the game. But as for Alan Wake 2, this game was bugging out a bit where the character's head was only appearing and the rest of the body just disappeared. But some of the other characters, they were just floating heads as well. I guess that was the theme with this game. But I guess if you want to have a bit of a different experience in Alan Wake 2, then Vega's going to provide that in this title. But while we're on this title, I decided to test the power consumption of the Vega 56. Now, if you're running this GPU out of the box, it is going to consume quite a bit of power. It is going to go up to the high 300s, even with a Ryzen 7 1700. But then if we decide to undervolt it, you'll see that it does perform really well. And the power of undervolting with this GPU really unlocks a different whole scenario, where I believe this was one of the first GPUs that really benefited from undervolting. And even to this date, when you undervolt it, it gives out great performance per watt. Though one more impressive thing about this system right here was the idle desktop power consumption. It was under 60 watts at pretty much all times. That was the highest I could see it go to, but also this was with a $10 power supply that was bronze rated. So these power consumption results would even be better if we were using the same gold rated power supply that we're using for the tests on the more expensive graphics cards coupled in with the more expensive CPU on that setup. Though I'm not going to run those tests. I do like to eat dinner and go to bed on time. Though in closing, I hope you guys enjoyed today's all AMD budget gaming PC. I certainly had a lot of fun, especially with this case. When I saw it at the junk store and it was abandoned, someone just gave up on it, I knew I had to give it a chance and restore it to its former glory. And not just that, at the time when this case was released, they were using these random parts. We've given it newer, fresher parts, especially with that Vega 56 red and black and that Wraith Spire with the red LED ring to match the case. I was just absolutely loving not just the price performance, but how this case and this build ended up looking in the end. And it's really fun to get these older cases, bring them back to life, and then see what could have been. And we've also got, speaking of that, a Intel Lian Li case, I think it is, that this silver and blue that I wouldn't mind doing a build with too. So if you guys have any special requests like today's build or maybe the Lian Li case, do let us know in the comment section below and I'll see what magic I can make happen. But also from now, I gotta go repair my broken $5 sunglasses. Just gonna whack a bit of silicone on and seal them back up and they should be good to go. And this was also used price performance right here. So I don't know about you guys, but I just love getting my hands dirty, messing around with this old used price performance stuff. Really gives me a good kick, especially when it legitimately does start to put up a fight against that latest and greatest stuff. Anyhow, I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content and you're not yet subbed, make sure to hit that sub button, ring that bell to get the videos as soon as they drop. And I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.